All right, welcome back to My Life, Sam Radford. On this episode, we have Stockton, California legend. We have Brian Peeples, aka Okwerdz, aka Put Him in a Box and Say Easy, aka the Kangol King. Currently not wearing a Kangol, but I know it's in spirit. Man, you're a legend. Thanks for being on, bro.
Hey, I appreciate you having me, dude.
Yeah, man, for sure. Let's start off with an entry question. So, are you originally born and raised in Stockton?
Oh yeah, my whole life, man.
So, what was it like for you growing up in Stockton, man?
Oh, Stockton's a very unique place, man. It's always had, I guess in the public eye, it's always had a bad reputation. Anytime you've probably ever heard about anything in Stockton, it's never necessarily been anything good unless it's been like Nick or Nate Diaz winning a big fight. Um, I've seen a lot of things, even living in a relatively nice neighborhood, it's pretty impossible to avoid Stockton nature. So, just growing up, I've seen a lot of things, a lot of gang fights, went to school with gangs and uh, been jacked, had guns pulled in my face, seen bullets fly past me in parking lots when we go to parties, wild shit. It's a wild place, man.
So, with that being said, what was your introduction to when you fell in love with rap, and how did that maybe coincide with your growing up in Stockton in particularly?
Uh, you know, I think just getting into rap, I have a brother who's 6 years older than me, so he was always like into the cool shit before me. He is very good at like finding cool shit. And that was like when, man, that was like when MTV was like starting and they actually like played music and stuff like that, my brother always seemed like he was just into the next shit. And he was into rap, and that's how I got into rap. Pretty much like rap probably since like MC Hammer days and stuff like that, man. It's been, since I was a little small kid. And rapping myself, I guess, came later. Maybe when I was like 17.
And so, how did that become? Like, was it a classic freestyling in like a lunchroom or at a house party, or was it like you and a couple friends hanging out?
Well, I'd always just really been into the lyrics and stuff like that, just as a listener, as a fan. You know, pretty critical of lyrics and stuff. Some people I would just, think sucked and things of that nature. Kind of just, I guess, maybe motivated me to kind of like secretly start writing, and not really tell nobody. And then eventually, when I gained the courage to rap, you know, then we did it, Um, then began writing songs and stuff like that. But at first, it was more like a freestyle kind of thing or like a battle because, I was already naturally like, good at making fun of people and stuff like that. That was kind of like my thing at the time. So in school, it would be really easy to make fun of people and stuff like that. So I guess I kind of used that in the battle, arena or whatever. I guess it was an easy way to get people to know that you could rap good without like, you know, rapping for them or having a song or something like that. It's like an instantaneous, you say a good line, people laugh. It's not that complicated.
Yeah, and like for you as a battle rapper, and even on your tracks as well, because I listen to your music. People,
Right.
if
Thank you.
well, I'm gonna link his music at the end of the episode for a side note to people. He's done songs with Method Man. He's sold hella records in Australia. He's more to just Awkwardz than a lot of people think. But anyway,
Right.
what like I find you're very aggressive with your style. Like it's very
Mhm.
in your face, which is what I love because I grew up on a lot of that kind of stuff, like from like
Mhm.
Onyx to Jedi Mind Tricks to
Right.
like Coca
I love
Nostra,
Onyx. I
all
fucking
that.
love
Yeah, Onyx is amazing and all that stuff and the vibe. And so, was is there any like couple, one, few in particular guys that influenced you or like your kind of style? Would you say?
Well, I mean, a lot of influences just over the years and just finding yourself and just listening to various music. But like my favorite rapper of all time is Ice Cube for sure. Probably my biggest influence, period, in terms of rapping is concerned. A lot of other outside genre musicians that are big influences on me, but in terms of rapping, like, Ice Cube is the greatest rapper of all time, as far as I'm concerned. And Jay-Z, those are big ones. But I mean, Ice Cube probably all in all, at the end of the day, the reason why I rapped, like I think, what made me actually rap out loud in front of somebody for the first time was probably like some, like I think the Dope Man from NWA might be the thing that made me like actually fucking rap out loud one day. But that's probably my biggest influence in rap. It's probably Ice Cube. I love Jay-Z as well. E40. I grew up on a lot of people think California, they think like LA or something like that. California is a very big place. I'm from Northern California. It's quite a bit different. We grew up on a lot of like E40 and Too Short and like Brother Lynch and things of that nature as well. So those are big influences growing up. But I think a big influence to me too that got me put onto like the underground kind of battle-y, freestyle, cipher-y kind of vibe. Like I credit a lot of that to like the Wake Up Show CDs a lot as well, to be honest. When I was in high school, because I was listening to all West Coast shit, you know what I'm saying? All, gangster rap shit growing up, Bay Area shit, Sacramento shit growing up, and in terms of rap anyway. And I think a couple years like into high school, maybe sophomore year or something, like it's when, that's when I don't know about the rest of the West Coast or the world or whatever, but when it was specifically hitting in my fucking high school in Stockton, that's when Wu-Tang shit was hitting real fucking hard. And we were wearing our fucking pant legs up and wearing camo fucking pants and things of that nature, that's when I started getting into a lot of East Coast stuff. And then within, listening to the Wake Up Show stuff, I got into a lot more underground. That's when I heard, Juice versus Supernatural, and that was a big deal. That was a very big deal. Just Juice in general. Fuck Juice versus Supernatural. Just Juice in general. Very big deal.
And so, like, I go all over. We're not going to go. We don't go A to Z. We kind of like skip back and forth in between everything. So, speaking on that, Juice,
it's like a Pulp Fiction,
or Crash. Juice is like, to me, one of like, if you look at the Mount Rushmore, and especially like creating what it is, like battle rap today and freestyle as well. And you being a student of the game, hearing that, and then coming up as a battler yourself, but then years later having Juice on your channel and freestyling for you. What's your perspective or just experience with that? Like, how did it feel? What was it like?
I mean, to be able to say that Juice is my friend is really crazy. Like a really good friend. You know what I mean? He's a really great guy. Even when he didn't fucking know me at all, dude. This is the crazy thing. A lot of people don't even know this, but back in, man, what fucking year is this? Man, I want to say like, well, if my first album came out in 04, it had to be sometime before 04, maybe like 03 or something like that. I had met up with Juice in Kentucky. My boy Deuce Leader had linked us up to do a song. And this man Juice straight did a song with me off the love in Kentucky, and just off us vibing and kicking it and freestyling. That was the very first time that I ever really spent time with Juice, when we was in Kentucky, out in Louisville, with my man Deuce Leader, and just freestyling for a long time with this guy. And that was really where I got to know Juice. And then once he moved out to like the LA area, it was fucking on, you know what I mean? He's arguably, I mean, I would say maybe like, if we're talking freestyle on beat rap battles, I'm saying Juice and Thesaurus is probably the best ever. They might be the two best ever to ever do that in that way of battle rap in those times. Juice is, influenced us all, man. He's the GOAT. Even, influenced the shit out of Idea. You would see Idea even, using his movements when he freestyled, you know what I mean? It's like, geez, you know what I mean? Like, man, Juice is such an influence on these people and all of us, it's crazy.
Your movements just sparked another memory to me. So, as I said, I'm all over. That's amazing. Good. And I love that. So in Scribble Jam, because you were part of the Scribble Jam era, you're a Scribble Jam OG, right?
Right.
What I love about Scribble Jam and what's funny is like how some of the dudes would just be so aggressive with their movements on the stage, like literally like running back and forth and like jumping around and messing with the microphone cord and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of, the immaculate hop, I like to call it.
Yeah. Or when Real Deal faced the Saurus, when Real Deal was a youngin,
Oh yeah. Or Justice had a pretty mean runaround game as well.
Yeah, no, it always reminds me of that video of Kanye just bolting off stage, But like, yeah, man. So growing up in Stockton and starting to freestyle and starting to battle, like I'm
Right.
sure because you're obviously one of the best to ever do it. You obviously in your town started to rise to the ranks, and you probably like,
Right.
got sick of beating everybody. Is just my guess. So what brought you to like battle out of the city? But before we do that, what was it like rising in the ranks and probably becoming like the best freestyler around there?
Well, here's the thing. In Stockton, there wasn't really like a battle scene at the time. I know everybody knows about the jungle and whatnot now, but that was not there when I was battling. You know what I mean? I did not, you know what I mean? I had never seen Fox before. I don't think Fox was even like doing it like that at the time. You know what I mean? This is like fucking 2001 or some shit, 1999 or some shit. You know what I mean? Literally the only two people that you guys would probably have heard of that I had seen battling at that time was Incredible and Bird from the Jungle. Those two guys were around, and I battled both of them actually. Me and Incredible actually had a notorious little fucking competitive thing back and forth for a good minute. I wouldn't call it a beef because it was never any like actual beef, but like there was a couple times when we got pretty fucking aggressive with each other. Because I mean, if you've seen an Incredible battle, you know what this man is going to do. So it's like, I got to diffuse that shit if I'm going to win this battle. You know what I'm saying? So I did an excellent job diffusing that, by the way. But there was this, you know, it was just a big thing, man. I remember it was one of the very few like actual battles I did in Stockton at the time. But I remember there was this open mic that we did at this place. And I had always went there because I didn't really write a lot of songs at the time. It was a very long time ago. And I would go there or like freestyle or like test out new verses or something like that at this open mic, right? And this was like the one time I had a song that I wanted to perform at this open mic. So I brought this like CD with like, you know, instrumentals on it. And we're finally going to perform a song at this place, right? And we go there and they announce to us that their fucking CD player is like not working or some shit today. So like no fucking music or whatever. If you're going to perform anything, like you got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? There's no music, right? And man, I haven't thought about this in a while. This is funny. So I'm at the open mic. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. You know, my name's on the fucking sheet, but like, you know, what am I actually going to do? You know what I'm saying? I could have someone like beatbox or something, but you know, whatever. So this is the first time I've ever seen Incredible. In walks Incredible on stage. And this dude is like fucking deep. He's got so many people with him. And at this time, I forget what the name of their fucking crew was at the time, but they were all like going like this or something. It was like this thing where it's like all of them would do it though. Like all of them. Like he was deep and they were all just like, bang. And that was like their thing, right? And Incredible comes up to do his fucking thing. And he's like, he gets on stage and before he raps his shit or whatever, he says, now, this first verse is about me, and this second verse is about the competition. And when I'm done, I'll battle anybody in here, is what he says, right? And I had just did the Rocksteady thing like fucking couple weeks before. So like it was a packed house. There were like 200 people there. As soon as he said, I'll battle anybody after that, I swear to God, everybody's head turned at the exact same time to the back and looked at me. Like everybody, you just simultaneously see all these heads. All of a sudden, everyone's just looking at me like, y'all hear? You hear that? He said he'll battle anybody, you know, kind of like that. And so at this point, you know, I already didn't know what the fuck I'm going to perform. You know, my CD is useless at this point, you know. So they call my name to go there, and I get on stage, and I'm like, well, you know, I was going to perform these songs, but the CD player is broken. So I guess I'll battle this motherfucker here since he thinks he'll battle everybody. And everyone's like, oh, you know, and he comes on stage and we had the homie beatbox and I fucking roasted him so bad. It was really fucking ugly. Like I really tore the fucking house down. It was pretty crazy. But Incredible ran all around town telling everybody that he fucking beat me. And we fucking battled the next week at the same open mic in the parking lot. And roasting him again, mind you. And this is when, you know, when you're in a street battle, not on stage, this is where he tries to pull out all the bullshit, you know what I mean? But it just was not, I'm just not that guy. That shit doesn't affect me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know, regular Joe Schmo battle rapper. That shit doesn't affect me. I was there by myself. He was there with a million people and I was barking on this boy. All right. And we got into a little argument, and the owner of the venue came out and said, we're never doing an open mic here again. And I honestly don't think they ever did it again. And that's like the one like big battle we did in Stockton.
What an incredible story. No pun intended.
Other than little street stuff, I battled Bird in a mall parking lot, battled some other people. That's about it.
And so when did you venture off to battle outside? Like, I'm sure there must have been something before Scribble Jam, or was Scribble Jam?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I think that was around the time mcbattles.com had come around, and there was actually a message board forum where they would, like say where upcoming battle events were happening. And I knew there wasn't anywhere to really battle in Stockton. Once I had seen, Juice versus Supernatural, I was like, oh, I got to do this on stage. What the fuck? And then I would see Craig G versus Supernatural, and, then like the old Blaze battles, not the one with Idea, but the old ones, that used to be on BET where like the RZA battled and like shit like that. And it was fucking those battles. I watched all three of those things, and that's when I was like, yo, I want to battle on a stage. Like, where can we do this? And that's when I found like mcbattles.com, and there had been some kind of like battle event in San Francisco called Mic Check. And it was for like, I think there was one in Chicago or something, and like the winner of the Chicago one had been flown down to like battle the winner of the San Francisco one, and whoever wins that like gets a bunch of money or something like that. And I entered this battle. First round, I fucking battled someone super trash, but unfortunately I was also super trash, and I fucking lost in the first round because I was slightly more trash than the other guy. So and that was a cool event, man. Topper was actually there. Swarm Shogun was in the battle. Those are the only guys that you would probably know about that are still like around. But Topper was there. Swarm Shogun, I think, like fucking got second place or won the whole thing. Or so he battled the Chicago winner. So he must have been either in the finals or have won the thing. But Swarm was in there. Swarm was cooking in that event too. Oh my God. I lost to somebody super trash. But then I did another one in Sacramento. Same thing. Battled someone super trash. I was super trash, and I lost in the first round. And then the third battle, something different happened. That's when things started changing. It was in Tracy, California. I actually battled Joe Cutter, which is actually also a funny story. He was named KO Device at the time. But I had entered this battle. It was at like an American Legion Hall, so it was packed, fucking wall to wall. I had never been on a stage that full of people before in my life. And it was so packed. And no one ever heard of me. I just signed up through mcbattles.com or whatever. And Joe Cutter was like the returning champ from like the last event. You know what I'm saying? So everyone was on his nuts. You know what I'm saying? And all of his friends, they're all my friends now. But at the time, this is all his homies through the events. It's like Thunderhut, XI, Fredo. Like Fredo's like on stage hosting. You know what I mean? Like it's like everybody's homies. This is before any of these fools met me. I'm just a dude from Stockton. You know what I mean? These are all Bay Area homies. It's the one time I felt like a separation from California. You know what I mean? Where like these guys are definitely biased against me. You know what I mean? Because this is their homie. He just won the last event. You know what I mean? Like he's the champ, right? So they set me up versus Joe Cutter in the first round. I'm like Joe Cutter's fucking buy round, basically. You know what I mean? I'm his sacrificial lamb, and let's give him this fucking Okwerdz kid, right? That no one's ever heard of. You know what I mean? And I pull up and I beat the shit out of Joe Cutter, baby.
There we go.
The crowd went crazy. I said he looked like the lead singer from System of a Down, and it was just a wrap. It was ugly. It was really ugly. But the judges still gave it to Joe Cutter because they were all his fucking homies. And but I mean, you could see the video. It was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy. At that point, that was my best battle rap performance ever. At that point,
is that the same league or event that XI and Passwords battled at? I remember an old battle on
XI and Pass battle. I don't think they've ever battled.
When Pass was like 15 years old or something like that. Or like
I don't 14. Think they've ever battled. I don't think they've ever battled. I don't think
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Knowledge. Could be something different. But that same place, where I battled Joe Cutter is the same place where me and XI battled Fredo and Swarm Shogun. Different event, same place.
Okay. Yeah, and I actually Fredo mentioned that on his episode too. Cause like just like Fredo, like you, I found like you guys are OGs, like you're
Right.
doing it before these things were going on and stuff. And
Right.
I want to get your opinion on that too, because like like a lot of listeners don't know about like OG people. Like what was crazy to me, because I got into battle rap like not in a later stage in life, but when I was like a teenager. And
Okay.
like so I had already listened to a lot of Big L. And then when I saw Party Artie battling Murder Mook, I was like, what the fuck is this,
Right,
man?
right,
Like
right, right. That's a classic, dude. Party Artie is one of my favorites, man. Rest in peace.
yeah, man, rest in peace. And then and like this song, like yeah, like that was like crazy to me. That's when I was like, oh shit, that shit is so intertwined. That's when it was funny
Right, right, right.
when that group that or MC War in Atlanta when they tried to bring back Bone Crusher and Fredro Starr and
Right, right,
Keith
right,
Murray
right.
and stuff. Yeah, yeah. So I think you're a legend in the game completely, but I think one of the biggest things for you is like Grind Time was coming up in 2009 and it was
Mhm.
starting to become big and modern battle rap was coming back and then Smack started throwing events that weren't
Right.
just on the DVD. And you cuz Grind Time at the time it was different people, but it was kind of looked at as like a backpacking league, like the white guy
Sure.
whatever. But you started battling these guys from New York and
Mhm.
and they were coming to the Battle of the Bay events, and you
Right.
were like at that to me, you were the face of it all, and like you were like the
Mhm.
face of the modernization of battle rap and
Sure.
intertwining different genres in battle rap, I guess you
Right,
would
right,
say, right? And
right,
so,
right.
like, what looking back, what was that like for you? You know, like it, like because you already traveled the country battling, you'd already
Mhm.
were on the source on height, like so. But
Mhm.
like this to me is such a big part of where battle rap is today.
It is. And it's funny. It was my plan all along to bring everybody together because I'm a fan of everything. But a lot of people just looked at it as me just starting a beef because it was a competitive battle rap thing. But at the end of the day, I wanted to see all these combinations of people battling. And that's why I did it. I had spent, at that time, I've been in battle rap, involved over like 20 years at this point. But at that time, it was over 10 years. And, I had been battling, nerdy white boys over beats freestyling for fucking how many years? You know what I mean? I want to try something new. I see that. Well, I mean, we battled people of all different types over beats or whatever, but like this was different. I remember the first time I saw Loaded Lux versus Murder Mook, and I was like, wow, they're just spitting verses a cappella. This is crazy. Like, I want to battle one of these guys. You know what I mean? It was just something that I thought of because it was different. It was just like if I'm going to be a real battle rapper, a good, well-rounded battle rapper, we should be able to do everything. I should be able to, you know, freestyle against motherfuckers on beat, but then, pull up to the park and do this shit as well. And I was interested in doing that. So that was really a big motivation for me wanting to battle those. I just wanted to see where I stand. You know what I mean? Obviously, the motherfuckers, from the East Coast is doing that acapella shit. They're, like the pioneers of the acapella battle rap shit. So it's like, if you want to see where you really stand, and at that time, Arsenal was like, he was really heating up with he had done the Lions and stuff, and he had just won the Fight Club fucking event against Hollow. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, like right then when it happened, you know what I mean? It was the perfect time to battle Arsenal. And that battle honestly broke us both.
And like because that's what's crazy too is these guys come from these accolades like Fight Club and Lions Den that are
Right.
completely like the top tier in the East versus the top tier in the West. And
Right.
what I think it was big too because I think like the guys in the East kind of had this ego about them too that like I don't want to like, look less tough or whatever I'm trying to be by battling this quote unquote backpacker type rapper or like
Well, the thing is,
a battle rapper.
grind time at that time, though, I know I feel like those kind of like stereotypes or whatever, or generalizations or whatever, I feel like those came a little later. I feel like at the very core, grind time was like everybody doing everything. And that's what was so interesting about it was everybody had their own character. It wasn't like I fucking went on YouTube and looked up the QP starter kit. You know what I mean? It's like I fucking had my own shit that I brought to the table, and so did everybody else. Everybody's style was fresh. You know what I mean? Look at Dumbfounded, Thesaurus, Disaster. Like, what do you want? Pick your fucking poison. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have whatever you want. What do you want to look? What do you want to watch? There, it's there. You know what I mean? A lot of people are just, they try to find a formula that works and stick to that. Well, really, one of the most successful keys to battle rap is being yourself and bringing an interesting, aura to the table. That's all your own, an original aura that's all your own. If you look at Grind Time, like everyone's like a fucking wrestling character. You know what I mean? Everyone's like their own shit, and it's really cool.
No, I do agree with you on that, because if you look back at it, like those crazy events in 09, like even when like Pumpkinhead was coming back to battle,
right,
like hosting the Scribble Jam things and stuff,
right,
and I agree with you, because what I look at and what I think of as a golden era, like obviously people who listen to my podcast kind of know what I'm about, is like what I love with battle rap then, man, is like, because also like a lot of times like this person's facing this person because of their record, and I love that shit, because like I'm such a big fan of like basketball for like stats and playoffs and shit like that, so like it's just like I remember, like for instance, like in old Grind Time days, like the Broward beatdown event when like Caustic battled 24/7 and they were both like 6-0 going into it,
right.
And then like that's cool too. Like I always think of that event randomly too, because like Recognize, who had been on like the show with Locksmith in like the early 2000s,
man,
he came back.
That's like, my guy, dude. That's my guy. He's doing his thing.
And that's the thing too, man. Like the people with the stigma like about battle rappers and stuff is I try to break it, because you guys are so much more than just a battle rapper. Like you did records. Was it with? I don't want to be inaccurate. Was it with the Hilltop Hoods?
Yeah.
One of my favorite groups ever. Nosebleed Section got me through grade 9 when I was a kid.
Man, wow, and so it's a great song.
And like,
did you see a UFC fighter came out to that recently, and I was tripping. I fucking tweeted them like, "Oh my god, they're playing the Nosebleed Section on the fucking UFC."
How recently was it? Was it the guy who chugged out of the shoe?
No, not him, not him. It was a female fighter. It was within the last handful of months, I would say.
That's dope. And so,
like recently,
like.
That tripped me out. I mean, sometimes if I'm looking forward to a certain fight, sometimes I'll just have it on the background. But like I'm chilling and I hear the fucking Hilltop Hoods and I turn around and like, what? Crazy.
It thinks your YouTube's on autoplay from like an old thing or something like
that. She was an Australian fighter. It makes sense.
Oh, and they were huge in Australia, bro. And
I mean, they still are. I mean, they are it. They are the thing.
And
they're the hottest group.
And you are too. And so what happened? How did that come about, the collaboration of you guys?
I think, I had been out there a couple of times before I had met them. The first time I was out there to judge a rap battle, big rap battle competition, which is where Justice actually won his opportunity to go to Scribble Jam. So I had already known, I had been warning motherfuckers already, you got to watch this kid Justice ain't fucking around, guys. I got to see him before everybody. You know what I mean? I saw everything. And
that's a gem. I think, is that an exclusive? Is that like have you told this one before?
Well, somebody probably knows it somewhere. I'm not sure.
That's wild though. So because Justice versus Thesaurus, like when you were talking about Supernat and Juice WRLD, that's like the modern Supernat.
It might be the best on beat rap battle ever. Freestyle on beat battle ever. Might be the best one ever. But yeah, so I had been out there, and then I was there for like a quick weekend or something like that. And then I came back like a year later on a full-fledged tour with DJ Qbert and Supernatural. And we were out there for like a month. And while I was out there, just meeting everybody, meeting all the rappers and everybody out there. And I would always just ask, like, who's the biggest rappers in Australia? You know what I mean? Who's the best dudes? Who do I need to listen to? Who do I need to check out? And everybody was just saying Hilltop Hoods. It was unanimous. Hilltop Hoods. I started checking their shit. I think in one of the airports I had to go to, like between cities or something in Australia, there was like a little CD store, and I copped a bunch of their fucking albums and was just like, yo, these fools are fire. And I think I just randomly hit them up one time, and they hit me back, and we just kind of linked, and that was it. Like the next time I went out there was to fuck with them.
That's so cool, man. Because I always like looking at you, like especially in like the let's say 07 to like 13 era, which I feel like is like the golden era of battle rap. Looking at you, you were always like everybody, like it was cool. You had OGs like, it's PH is coming back into the game.
Right.
Dumbfounded has a big college crowd and stuff like that. But you were on the fucking source, man. And you did songs with like Hilltop Hood, which is like one of my childhood favorite things. So like I always just revered you like hovering above the rest. You know what I mean?
Hey, well, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Well, and I think one of the biggest things is what I'm trying to get off with your episode is how innovative you've been within it. So we mentioned how you brought people together. You were battling people from the coast. And then you and Disaster teamed up as a 2-on-2 and traveled
Right.
Europe. And like that was the first time of its nature as like a tour of an international thing was. It's like, what was that like and how did that come to be?
Man, that was a wild one. I don't know. Me and Diz just randomly had the idea. We thought it'd be a good way to like travel the world, and it was. We actually planned on adding, I think maybe it was like 2 other battles too to the tour that fell through. And honestly, looking back now, I'm so glad they did fall through because it was so hard. I'm so glad that we didn't. And then the shoddy horror battle got added for Diz. It was a lot of work. It was a tall order. That was a very tough 10 days. So I'm honestly glad that it didn't, because we had one planned in Amsterdam and Australia. Okwerdz and Disaster versus 360 Injustice was going to be a thing as well. And it fell through at like the last minute. But me and Diz had been writing some very serious material for them.
Did you use any of it against 360? No.
Let me see. I kind of had to write like all new material because it was just different circumstances. Kind of like the stuff me and Diz were doing with like, I don't know. It's like stuff that me and Diz could say to them. You know what I mean? It was like more, I don't know. It was more like specific, like only me and Diz could say these things to you. You know what I mean? And then it was like back and forth. Like we had some really good back and forth stuff. Man, me and Diz had some good stuff for those guys. And the funny thing was our whole plan of attack, it's kind of how we were approaching Archaic and O'Shea. It's kind of the same thing. It was like, look, let's just annihilate Justice and try to fucking keep up with 360's jokes. And that's kind of how we felt about Archaic and O'Shea. It was like, just kill Archaic and just try and keep up with O'Shea. O'Shea is going to roast us. There's nothing we can really do about it. Let's just be funny, just keep up with that and just make sure we just pin Archaic to the fucking wall. That's kind of how we were looking at 360 and Justice. We had some cold shit for Justice. I'm not even going to lie. We had some cold shit.
Damn. When they make a battle rap video game, just like if you play 2K, they have like legacy teams, like the We Believe Warriors or the Steve Nash Sons or whatever it be.
Right.
Man, like one day I'll be able to match up you and Diz versus 360 and Justice, and we'll see what the algorithm does with it.
We had some cold shit. And we were going to do one in Amsterdam too. I don't remember the dude's name we were going to battle. It's the battle rapper that is missing a hand. He battled Jin like a long time ago. It was him and somebody else, and me and Disaster wrote some evil shit for them too. But
I think he battled at a Don't Flop event in
he's very good. I mean, he's very good. He's very good. But we wrote some evil shit for them too, but it ended up falling through. Yeah.
And so I'd say probably my favorite. There's 2. I love the one versus Tenchu and Lego because it was more of a competition because you guys did body Archaic and you like felt Archaic like kind of like crumbling into himself, and
he forgot all of his bars. Literally from round 1, forgot all of his bars, dude. Like we shook him pretty hard. And that was the plan. Like just kind of like throw a little jab at O'Shea every now and then, but really just go fucking hard on Archaic. That was our whole plan, dude. That was the whole plan. And then it's like we're not gonna outdo O'Shea. It's just not gonna happen. And honestly, in that particular battle, that was a particularly fire O'Shea as well. Like that was a fucking that's one of O'Shea's best performances, dude. Like he really went fucking hard, dude. Like we were laughing the whole time at just O'Shea. Like, dude, we love you, O'Shea. Like the only reason we did that battle is because we wanted to roast Archaic and we wanted to give O'Shea some shine. That's the only reason we did that shit. We love O'Shea. We wanted to give O'Shea shine. We just wanted to murk Archaic. That's really all it was.
O'Shea's like one of those guys too, who like if you battle him, like like in battle rap, even if you like know the people, you can still get an angle to be angry at the person. But I feel like O'Shea's one of those guys that you could just never really do that. Like
you can't, dude. It was actually a lot of fun battling O'Shea. That actually, surprisingly enough, was one of the funnest battles I've ever done. It was a really fun battle, and we're just idiots, man. We did all 3 of those battles unlimited time. I don't know what we were thinking, dude. Like we were literally, me and Diz, we wrote so much bars. We didn't have time to organize a 3rd round for that battle. And we didn't have a 3rd round.
Yeah, but you still had fun though.
The thing is, like, okay, so we battled Shazam and Nils, and the very next day, Sweden to England. The very next day, like we battled Shazam and Nils today. Tomorrow we go to England and battle fucking O'Shea and Archaic. So it was like, we're like, okay, me and Diz have this all planned out, right? We're going to battle these guys. Okay, we have all our bars. We wrote all the bars for O'Shea and Archaic on the plane to Sweden. 8 hours, me and Diz just, all right, we had like fucking 300 bars for these guys, right? And so we write the bars and we never look at them again, okay? Because we're working on the Sweden battle, okay? We're practicing it and rehearsing it, putting everything in order. He's showing me his bars, I'm showing him mine. We're editing things, etc. And so our big plan is we're going to do the battle, okay? We're going to wake up, get on the plane, and the whole time on the plane, we're going to put all our bars in order for the rounds. And by the time we get to the hotel, we're going to memorize them all. We're going to walk down there and we're going to fucking cook, right? But what actually happened was we got on the plane and both just fell asleep immediately. We woke up and we're in fucking England, like, whoa, we didn't put anything together. You know, we get to the hotel, we memorized 2 rounds perfectly. And for the 3rd round, we're just like, you know, well, what are we going to do? I just remember when they said round 3, disaster and awkward, it's on you. Like we both just kind of looked at each other like, okay, here we go, you know? And it was probably the most free I've ever been in a written battle ever. And it honestly felt great. It was honestly a lot of fun. That 3rd round honestly became extremely fun. Knowing we didn't have shit. We just started off with rebuttals, just kind of seeing where it went. And you know, we had enough bars written. We just didn't have time to put them in order, memorize them, and practice them like that. You know what I mean? So what would happen was Diz would say a bar and it would remind me of another bar that we wrote, and kind of like little chunks would come out here and there, like, oh, Diz said a fucking fat joke. I know a couple of the fat jokes that we use. And then, oh, he said this, or I'll say this, and he'll continue off my topic. And it kind of just went on. It ended up being like our longest round. And we were freestyling until literally the camera ran out. And
exactly. Yeah. Well, and you guys held that battle together. That was one of those battles that was like when all the leagues are popping up and they're like, oh, we're gonna, you know. But funny little question. If you guys are writing on the 8-hour flight to Sweden, did you get any weird looks by any random people?
Probably. I don't really even remember. We were focused, man. We were focused. And honestly, actually have a candid video of that whole trip. And we just look so tired and fucked up because it's literally one of the most grueling things I've ever done. Probably the most grueling thing I've ever done battle rap wise ever in my life. And I just don't want to release it. We just look bad. We're so tired. We're just so tired. It's fucked up. But I've got videos of us like being on the airplane, talking shit about Archaic and like writing bars for O'Shea and like making fun of stuff, you know what I mean? Or like us picking up Ilmac from the airport and us all being in a taxi cab and us like making fun of disaster. Like it's just, I got a bunch of random shit from that whole trip. It was really fun.
Oh, that's great. And like, so obviously to me, the biggest one out of that trip was Shazam and Nils and Skills. And what spiked like that scene, like you kind of guys put them on to get onto world domination and everything.
We did. I mean, we kind of brought some a lot more credibility to their scene, and then many more people started going over there to battle, and like you said, they started going everywhere else to battle. It kind of, you know, helped them. That's kind of the point of us doing the tour as well, you know what I mean? Because I don't think anyone with our names at the time have been going overseas like that, especially on a tour of this nature. So it was grueling, man. We shouldn't have did unlimited time battles. That was a little nuts. I think every battle was like over 40 minutes. I'm pretty sure. Every battle was over 40 minutes. The Sweden one was crazy because, you know, Shazam and Nils, because they had never rapped in English. So we literally had no idea what they rapped. I mean, we could watch them and I can understand their flow and like, you know, how they rap, but like, we don't know what they rap about. I don't know what any of the bars mean. You know what I mean? I can Google translate a couple things. I can ask a couple fans, like, what does this mean? But like, at the end of the day, you don't really have a good grasp of what they're going to be in English. Now, the whole time, me and Diz are just like, these fools are going to be trash in English, bro. We're going to moonwalk over these fools. It's going to be so easy. That's what we're thinking. We're going into this battle with this mindset. these fools are gonna suck. They don't even they've never rapped in English. Are you kidding me? This is gonna be so easy. It's like, so we're kind of like on some cocky shit. Like, I can't understand what they're saying in their other battles, but I know we're gonna kill them. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the attitude that we had. And then when we got there, they were so good. They were so good.
Your guys' facial reactions were hilarious because when Nils started going, like I could see you guys both look down and you're like, fuck.
Dude, they were so good, dude. They were so good, man. That was the closest battle of the three, clearly.
For sure.
That was so good. They were so good, man. Hats off to them, man. Nice guys too, man. I really like those guys.
And that was an amazing battle, and like I'm a fan of Nils and Shazam and you. But the thing I take away from that battle the most is because it is in Sweden. So these guys, like a lot of the fans, don't really know a lot of English. And there's one guy in the crowd. You hear it the whole video. He says, "Oh shit! Oh shit! New York! New York!"
The oh shit guy is great, dude. That was a fun time, man. It was a really humbling experience to like be in Sweden for the first time and all this type of stuff. But then, you know, you realize there's posters of you all over town. You know, you're being on TV programs while you're out there, interviews on the radio, and like you get there and it's literally a line down the block, a sold out line wrapped around the block to come watch me in Disaster, you know, battle in Sweden. Like it's really a humbling. I mean, all the battles, you know, on the tour were sold out and packed, but like, you know, I'd never been to Sweden before. That was pretty crazy.
And as you said, you guys sparked that league going crazy. And like that league was hosting like basically like if it was the 90s, the biggest fucking concerts ever, like with OGs in the hip hop game and shit like that, you know?
Right.
Like,
yeah. When we went back there, I didn't even have to battle. And I just had one of the funnest weekends, one of the best shows of my life when we went back. I love Sweden, man. It's fucking great out there. I can't wait to go back.
And then, even though we did speak about like you going to Australia and doing songs with Hilltop Hoods, but I feel like in my mind, like Australia's got to have a big place in your heart. So like because it's like your second home. I feel like, you know,
I love Australia, dude. I love it so very much. And then, you know, like I've been there so many times just performing. And, you know, literally the only time I've went there to battle was one time for 360. You know what I mean? Like I've went there so many times and didn't even battle. All these people knew me for my music, but they also knew that I did battle. So it was dope to finally get to go there and like do a battle. You know what I mean? There. And I've known 360 forever, man. It was weird to even fucking battle him, but you know, whatever. You know, I just did the real deal. I was literally sitting in the Toronto airport, leaving Toronto after the whole Real Deal weekend, battle weekend, on my way home, and I get an email asking me to battle 360. And it really struck me as weird because I never, you know, other than obviously like a fun, like Disaster, you know, 2-on-2 battle that was going to be more so fun than anything. I'd never really thought about battling 360 before. I was just like, it's not really generally what I would have wanted to do. But then, you know, at the time I had to take in consideration, he just went triple platinum in Australia. And he was like lightweight, the most famous rapper in the whole country. And they're specifically saying they want to battle me. I was like, dude, I kind of have to do this. You know what I mean? It wasn't more like, you know, he just came off the battle with Cursor. It was like the most famous Australian rap battle ever, probably still to this day. So I was like, you know, I kind of have to do this. It's not even, you know, it's not the opponent that I would have picked. It's not the opponent that my fans are going to be super excited about, but like I lightweight have to do this. You know what I mean? Just based off how fucking famous he is right now, I pretty much have to do this. So I just said yes, pretty much based off that. I never would have planned. And in fact, I'd actually been extremely hesitant about battling overly funny people that, you know, which all they do is funny shit. Like I'd always been hesitant, like, man, I'm going to be all mad and they're just going to make fun of me and like, it's not going to work. You know what I mean? I always feel like I'm going to get roasted and it's, you know, it's going to diffuse all my fucking meanness. It's not going to work. You know what I mean? I'd always kind of had this preconceived notion that that's how it would be. It turns out not at all. Turns out that's not how it goes at all. But that was a crazy one.
It's classic to me, and like to me, because I was such a big fan of you, such a big fan of Australian hip hop, such a big fan of
Right,
360. To me, the build up was insane, and then the whole go karting accident was like one of those things I'll
right.
never
Oh
forget
my god.
about.
Oh my god, dude. Poor guy, man. Poor guy. Poor guy. And we had some, man, me and Diz had some horrible go-kart jokes for him and Justice. We had like a way of involving them together. Oh man, it's fucked up. Anyway.
Dang, bro, that's fire. That's cool though. But yeah, no, like with 360 too, I also used to listen to his music. He had a song called
He's great music.
The Festival
Amazing
song
music.
with like this guy
Yeah, I
named
know.
Pez. I fucking
Yeah,
love that song.
Pez is my guy,
Yeah.
dude. Pez got stupid bars, bro. Stupid bars, bro. Stupid bars. Like I met those kids way long time ago, man. When I was on my like first real tour out there, I met 360 and Pez, and I've been down with those dudes for a long time. We did a song together back in the day when they were doing they would do these songs over industry beats, and they would just make fun of all these celebrities and stuff. And I jumped on one of them. It was hilarious.
That's great. It's like Cheddar Cheese had a song called Cheese Whiz, like Fly Like a G6.
Right. But it wasn't actually like a parody though.
No,
They
okay.
literally would just spit bars, like really dope bars about like they would just diss random celebrities. And it was hilarious how they would do it.
And it's funny you mentioned your battle versus Real Deal because you'd kind of been out of
Right.
it for a bit.
Right.
And I remember if you look like after we talk or whatever, this will like either like be like, oh, cool, or weird you out. I've been messaging you since before that. But if you look, I'd be like, hey man, I'm rooting for you versus Real Deal. Like
I actually saw that. I actually saw that. You might have been the only person rooting for me against Real Deal, man. Much props. You
Hey,
clutched
bro.
it out though.
We
Just
did.
Me and you, we clutched it out, bro. It's good.
I was here. I was supporting you, man. I was supporting you from Canada.
Yeah, nobody. Oh, you, me, and the one guy in the crowd that reacted to the fucking Castlevania line. It's us,
Yeah.
man. It's
Oh,
us
yeah.
three, bro. It's us
It's
three.
it's us three and Classified not knowing like the validity of that battle.
Right. That's the squad that got me through it, man. That's the squad that got me through the battle, man.
Oh, and you killed it too, man. That's why
Thank you, man. Thank you.
like with you, it's like quality over quantity in the internet
Right.
era. Because
Right.
if you look at like a lot of these dudes, they average like between like fucking like 70 and 100 battles. But it's like
Right.
how many people know about all those battles? Whereas like you, I'm
Right.
looking
Right.
up your verse tracker, and I'm like, there's only 28
Yeah, it's not that
battles
crazy.
online.
Yeah. And
But-
that's the crazy thing. They did me dirty on there too, man. I got way more battles than that, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
And like but the thing is all your battles have so much more substance to them because I'm like you'll watch like I made a joke with Reverse Live the other day because I was saying he was rapping against like Copyright in a battle and then Jados in a battle, but then like this league in Colorado made him battle a guy named Poetic Justice or some shit.
Right.
And you never
Right.
did that stuff. You didn't oversaturate.
Yeah, I mean,
it.
I thought about it, but I just didn't want to because the thing is, man, like, I don't know, man. It's like doing a battle for some money is like, here's the thing, man. That money's gonna be gone in however long, but that video is gonna be on the internet forever, and it's gonna make you look stupid. You know what I mean? Kind of like the Roan battle. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say I did it for money. I'm gonna say that I did 100% do it as a favor for Poison Pen. Not nobody else on earth would have got me to agree to that. I can't say he's the only human being currently on the planet that could have got me to agree to that, but. I think when you do something for money like that, it's just a bad look, dude. You know, it's gonna be on the internet for a long time. You know what I mean? You gotta put your best foot forward, man. You gotta make the most out of each one that you can. You know, that's my.
It's like on the opposite end because like I grew up in like I'm in Ottawa now, which is like a city in Canada, but I grew up in small towns and like hip hop scenes like. You'd have like the random guy come. Big thing in Canada, especially like the 2010s, was like washed up Mad Child performing. And Mad Child has this thing called Battle Axe Warriors. And if you were a kid,
I know.
you'd spend $200 to become a Battle Axe Warrior, and then and it give you the thing of saying, oh, he's also going to be on a track with you and you could perform for him. And like, I knew so many dumbass kids who tried to become Battle Axe Warriors and like, be like, oh no, I'm friends with Mad Child, bro. Like, no, bro, you paid
Well,
your
I mean,
pain is
swollen
rent.
members is a staple in Canada, though. You
Oh,
know?
Swollen Members is amazing, and like I love that. But Mad Child later on, it sucks. Like what happened with it was one
Right.
of the worst fall offs in Canadian rap history. Especially after he came back and did the battle stuff, which was cool. But then,
Right.
he just drugs suck, man. Cocaine's one hell of a drug, Rick James.
They
right?
do. I actually haven't kept up with exactly what I had caught him. Man, how many years ago? What year is it? Oh man, I want to say like fucking maybe like 2016 or something like that. Somewhere around that time. I actually had a show with him in San Diego. That's the last time I saw him.
That's wild. Well, there's a whole story of like him being part of Rocksteady crew in the 90s and living in San Francisco and stuff. But like it just sucks like because I saw so many kids because as a kid he was like, in a small rap scene, you see all these dumb kids, the same kind of kids who pay to perform at shows to open for people. When like that's never going to do anything for your career because you're literally paying to open rather than either doing it for free or getting a couple free drinks, And that's like a dismal in the scene over here is people like, I performed.
Or they got you selling tickets.
Yeah. You're like
that's the worst one.
You're working like
the door. One headliner and 958 opening performers who all sold tickets, and ain't nobody gonna be there by the time the fucking headliner comes on.
I used to work at a comedy store, and this one kid brought all of his friends, and he was a terrible comedian. And you do the thing at comedy stores where you flash the light when, like, to give you the last 10 seconds.
It's time to go.
And his friends kept laughing at his terrible jokes, and my boss just went up and took the microphone. He's like, "He's not that funny, guys." He kicked him off stage.
Oh my god, that's cold.
Yeah, it was cold. But so another thing about you with the innovation part of this episode and how you've just been there at the forefront of starting all these different things in battle rap and battle rap media is what made you, because I feel like you're one of the first guys with a YouTube channel that made that made a use of his name and the notoriety and the views, just rather than being in a battle on this channel or this channel. You were doing like behind the scenes of events, and then you were releasing your music videos on it early before a lot of people were doing it. Like the whole boom in 2010 when like people like Mac Miller and Wiz and stuff were getting big on like independent YouTube videos. What was like what how did you know, like what was your mindset in that? How did you know it was going to be like a big thing for you?
I mean, it's just it's just following your passion. I always liked making videos. Once YouTube came out, I already knew that we needed to be on that immediately. I mean, as an entertainer, you got to be on everything, even if some new TikTok shit that you don't know about, you better learn that shit. Like you better learn that shit. Don't be like, oh, TikTok, I don't do that. I mean, I don't even have a TikTok, but I'm gonna fucking get one and figure that shit out, best believe.
Oh yeah, bro. It's how people consume media these days. It's just like when Vine was big in 2016,
Right. I mean, I was always into videos. I was always like, even when I was a kid, when, before I had a computer, I would edit like Jackie Chan movies myself. You know what I mean? I would literally hook up 2 VCRs to the TV, one with a blank tape and one with a tape, and I would edit just the fight scenes into the video, but by hitting record. You know what I mean? And like editing, if I did it wrong, you have to hit rewind and do it again. Like I was literally chopping videos before I was chopping videos. You know what I mean? I didn't even know that this was going to be, all those YouTube videos you've seen, except for anything that looks like super, super professional with like flying fucking text shit. Anything else, I edited that myself. You know what I mean? I've been editing my videos for years, man. I've always just been into that sort of thing. And I knew that we were going to do that.
Yeah. And like, that's why I think just like, your mind has always been ahead of the curve with that. You know what I mean? Like
story even of my life. When I started the podcast, all the fucking battle rap fans, I can't wait to not listen to that. Look, Okwerdz fell off. He's doing a podcast now. Oh, Okwerdz is so fucking lame. Starting a podcast, blah, blah, blah. Every fucking battle rapper in existence has a fucking podcast now, you idiots.
And that's the thing that I like. It almost
within 5 months. Within 5 months, we went viral with Nate Diaz. Like, shut your fucking mouth, haters. Like, goddamn. Like, battle rap fans don't want you to have anything.
No, they don't. No, they fucking don't. Well, bro, like, as a fan growing, it's funny, as a teenager, when I was a fan, dude, I'd be like, I'd like a guy, but I'd find out something about him because like I might have known a guy who knew a guy. And then like his opponent, I'd be like, yo, this is the dirt. And I'm just like looking back, I'm like, man, being a teenager, you're such a piece of shit. But like battle rappers are like battle rap fans are like teenagers their whole fucking lives. Because like earlier, me and Okwerdz were talking about this guy who's probably in like his 40s, and this guy's trying to dig up dirt on shit that doesn't care like matter in this world. That's why with battle rap, like I started the podcast just doing it myself, but then I was like, I want to shine a light on these dudes that a lot of people don't, because I think a lot of people think about A, B, and C, or like, oh, you're a battle rap guy. It's like, no, these people, you know what I mean? Like you talked about Fredo earlier. Fredo was in the fucking Navy in the 90s. Like,
he was.
Dirtbag Dan's a dog rescuer now. He doesn't even do like he does some music and he rescues dogs. Like, or bro, I had Nestle on. He's Shaq's third cousin, and he did a play with Young Jock's wife. Like, just I'm trying.
Is he Shaq's third cousin for real?
So the thing is, why
am I not surprised?
So the reason I found out was Nestle grew up in Germany. His dad was in the army. So I made a reference about Shaq growing up in Germany and his dad being in the army. And he's like, it's funny because we're third cousins. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Well, and he said whenever he used to play pickup, people say he looks like Shaq, just a few inches shorter, you know?
That's hilarious. I did not know that.
Yeah, man. So like, here's a fan question for you, because you've done songs with so many big people, especially right. What are like your top 3 collaborations in your life?
Does that mean number 1 Method Man off top? That was just
I was expecting that.
Just, you know, if I had to look back on everything that I've ever done in my career ever, not really much of a higher honor than being able to do a song with Method Man, because he respects you and not because like you had to like pay him for a collab or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just extremely surreal for me. And then the whole process of doing the music video and all the promotional things after, you know, he's just totally on board with everything. Just no hesitation. I know rappers that are not even 0.5% as famous as this man, that'll give you fucking excuse after excuse after egotistical bullshit after egotistical bullshit. This man, Method Man, will literally pull up and send you a verse in 4 days. Like, I'm never waiting for another rapper again in my life. If Method Man can send me a free verse in 4 days, fuck all of you. Fuck everybody. Fuck everybody. Literally everybody. Like, literally everybody. But that's number 1 for sure. And we got, and mind you, that we're dropping that on vinyl ASAP. Special edition autographed color vinyl. We were dropping that. I was going to drop it last year, but fucking COVID fucked everything up. And now all the vinyl pressing plants have like an 18-week backlog. So I can't even get it pressed right now. We have everything ready. The money's ready. The files are ready. The vinyl mastered songs are ready. Everything's ready to go. All we have to do is have a place that could do it right now. So I'm on a waiting list for when they're ready. But second favorite is Tech 9, I would imagine. That was a big deal. Tech is one of my favorite people. He's fucking just a great human. Being able to sit in the studio with that guy and see his recording process and just how nice he treated me, how nice he continues to treat me to this fucking day. I seen him a handful of years ago, and it's just all love. You know what I mean? He's like, I always hear about you all the time. People are always hitting me up. They said my name in some rap battle. You're beefing with this guy. You're beefing with that guy. That's what Tech always tells me when he sees me. But he said, yeah, the last time I seen Tech, he said, man, you're always on my radar. Always. Like, people are always bringing you up to me. I was like, man, that's fire. That's great to hear. Third, well, my third favorite person that I've done a collab, probably E40, but we weren't in the studio, so it's different. But the collaboration, probably my third favorite. Well, maybe my second favorite collaboration is E40. Maybe I like that more than the Tech 9 song because it's more new and more current. But the experience of being with Tech was better than not being in the studio with E40, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, right? And I think the biggest thing in my eyes from just listening to you is maybe E40 is number 2 because he's a hero in your eyes. You've been listening to him since you were a kid, you know? Yeah,
it's like literally like, it's funny. I've always had E40 on like my favorite rappers list, like top 10, top 20, whatever. Just kind of grew up on him, right? And it's funny, the people that I would have ahead of E40 don't have the type of catalog that E40 has. They're just people that I literally thought rapped better than E40. You know what I mean? So as I get older and I start looking at things from a perspective of like your whole career, You know what I mean? How consistent you've been your whole career, how many good albums you have. Like, I had to put E40 in my top 3. I had to move him up. All these people that I think rap better than E40, like they don't have the catalog. They haven't been doing it as long. As a grown man, you got to look at someone. If someone has like 15 albums that are fantastic, and rapper B that you think has a nicer 16 only has like 1 or 2 good albums, it's just math. You know what I mean? You got to give him some respect. But yeah, those are probably my 3 favorites. Atmosphere was great. Mr. Fab is always a fun time. Cool G Raps is another big one. There's a lot of great ones.
Just humbly just fucking mentioning some of the biggest legends in the game. But speaking of that, that's why, like, for me, Jay-Z is my favorite of all time, because I'm big with you too with consistency, because you have the Blueprint eras, you have the Dynasty eras, you have the Black Album, you have the stuff with Justin, you have the 444. I actually got to see him in 2017 live. It was one of the best performances I've seen.
I think I saw him that year too.
And because, like, so for me, like, this is like something that I'll just ask your opinion on, I guess, because you were talking about
I mean, Jay-Z, first of all, Jay-Z and Ice Cube are right here. Okay. Every other rapper on planet Earth is just like down on the floor.
So that's what I want to ask you, because, you know, I'm a student of the game. I'm a huge hip hop head. Nas, I love Nas, but everybody bases Nas off Illmatic, and I mean, there's still Illmatic, and it was written, but and then listen, but he's Nas never gonna. He's never going to be on the same level as like a Jay-Z or say an Ice Cube, because the catalog. He
doesn't have the catalog. The catalog isn't there. The catalog isn't there. But Illmatic is a very inspirational, very impactful record, and it definitely gets huge points for that. But you know, like I said, when I'm younger, I'm like, yo, Big Daddy Kane raps better than everybody. Big Daddy Kane is number 3. You know what I mean? But then you look at it. Does Big Daddy Kane, all due respect, Big Daddy Kane is the man. He'll wrap circles around me. There's no disrespect, okay? I love Big Daddy Kane with all my heart. When I met him, I was one of the like 3 people I was ever starstruck to ever meet, okay? And all due respect. But does Big Daddy Kane literally have more good albums than E40 does? He doesn't. He doesn't. That's just a fact. He doesn't. So while I think in a fucking 16 contest, Big Daddy Kane probably smokes every like 99% of human life forms, but E40's got a broader catalog. I got to put E40 above him. I'm a grown man now. You know what I mean? It's not just about who spits it the fucking best. You know what I mean? You got to look at the whole career. That's why I have Ice Cube and Jay-Z so high, because, you know, I can reference 13 amazing Ice Cube albums. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck has 13 amazing albums in any genre of music? What the fuck? You know what I mean? That's a lot. And then to have the impact outside of the game and the movies, and it's just,
and
get the fuck out of here.
Like, bro,
get the fuck out of here, bro. Ice Cube is the best. All right. I'm surprised Jay-Z didn't do movies. That's like the only thing that he didn't really like do like that. And he could. He totally could.
Oh man, well, there's the whole thing with Dame Dash, the whole fallout with the choke no joke videos of Dame Dash freaking out in the meetings, and like, but he did movies, but like, I don't know, recently you saw him try to press one of those guys who he funded a movie for at like the middle of like an award show, and he's like, "Hey man, you owe me $2 million." But speaking of that, so this is just another random one for you. So what we're saying, like, I think Jay-Z is the best of all time in my side. That's why I'm saying
fair.
The best.
I couldn't argue it.
My favorite, because you're saying like you can't do catalogs. My favorite, which I wish he did more and got to do more, my favorite rapper ever is Phife Dawg.
That's fair.
And like, it sucks because like he didn't get to, but like all of his lines were so impactful as me. And growing up as like, in the early 2000s, my older brother got me to listen to a lot of Jedi Mind Tricks, Immortal Technique, all this crazy lyrical shit. So you think you know lyricism, and you think that there wasn't lyricism back in the day. But Phife Dawg has these lines that are just like lyrical as fuck, you know?
Right. Oh, yeah, there's a lot. I mean,
you got BBD up on your bedroom wall, and I'm above the rim. This is how I ball. Or busted outside your eye. Now you got Siemens furniture.
I mean, listen to some of those old Big Daddy Kane albums, man. He is really just body bagging shit in the fucking early 90s and the 80s, like serious, like syllable construction in these bars. And I think the thing is, it's not even just being so technical, because I could rhyme whole sentences of syllables, but after a while it would get fucking monotonous, and it would sound more like a painful noise than, you know, rapping. So I think I always kind of compare Eminem and Black Thought. okay, when it comes to lyricism. All right. Now, Eminem, when he raps something very, very technical, you can tell it's extremely difficult to rap because he's trying extremely hard. You know what I mean? You could tell he's really putting an effort to say these fucking lines. Like, it's hard. It's hard. He doesn't make it look easy. He makes it look like it's hard, right? But when you listen to Black Thought, like I would imagine if Black Thought spit an Eminem verse, I would probably like it way more. Because Black Thought, he could be rhyming the whole fucking sentence. The whole sentence could rhyme with itself. And you may not even notice because it's just so smooth. He's not trying. It's fucking easy for him. It's easy. He floats. That's the key to lyricism. It's got to sound good still. You know what I mean? You want to be more like Black Thought, I think. And honestly, in the year 2021, I think Black Thought would have the best 16 on the planet. No rapper is rapping better technically than Black Thought at this moment.
Some of my favorite technical guys are like, but this might just be because I'm biased, but like Master Ace and Pace One and guys like that.
Master Ace is great.
Yeah, and like what I love
Pace One, man, I fucks with Pace One too. That's my homie also.
Oh, him and Mr. Green, that album, The Only Color.
Oh, right. One
of my favorite albums of all time, bro. Like I can't. Or like when DJ Premier did the songs with Black Poet on that Black Poet album and shit.
Right.
But yeah, I'm just like a big, and I'll tell you, like, you know, it's all opinion based, but I'm not a big Eminem guy. And, you know, being a fan of rap and especially battle rap, everybody's like, oh my God, so you love Eminem, but it's just like.
Well, here's what I think about Eminem. I think my favorite Eminem shit is the Slim Shady LP and like that phase where like him and Cannabis were kind of like going on every radio show with these like crazy like freestyle verses. To me, and then to expand on that, I would say like the Chronic and a few of his like guest verses right around that era is like phenomenal Eminem material. Now, I'm not huge on the Marshall Mathers LP. Everybody just, you know, it's a godsend. There's a few songs I like on it, okay? But I'm not huge on it. But those were, to me, the prime Eminem things. You know what I mean? After that, you know. Yeah.
People say to me, because like they my friends always hate on me, be like, "Oh, come on, man, you're supposed to." But and they say when I do say what I like the most is his features. When it comes to the Chronic with like the song with Exhibit,
it's excellent.
Or Patiently Waiting with 50 Cent, like that. That's the type of shit that I like him on, kind of thing, you know?
Right. No, I agree. I mean, you know, I think right when the Chronic came out, he was doing like these really dope guest spots. Like he did one with Redman, did one with Missy Elliott, like. He did the what was it? The sound bombing one. Like those time, the Sway and Tech one, the anthem. Like I think that period of Eminem just before Marshall Mathers came out, I think that was like peak, like best Eminem right there. And then, you know, from that point, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. And so
but there's a handful, I guess, you know, a handful of songs in some of those records that are okay. But
yeah, I just don't want to hear him rap to rap. Like when you're like 48 years old and you're flibbity dibbity ribbity, you know what I mean? One of the funniest things ever, like Dan, I'm a big one. I love Dirtbag Dan's music. One of the biggest fans of Dirtbag Dan.
Right.
But on one of his episodes of the show, Disaster was on the show, and Dirtbag was making fun of somebody's rapping style, and Disaster just went rubba dubba 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 concentrate. Shut up, Dan.
Very disastrous thing to do.
But so with the podcast, because also what I love with like when I found out you started doing your podcast,
right?
Like I see these guests that are just like things that I'm like, how is he scoring these guests? They're just so nostalgic and so of everything I love, and like, and then also the Diaz brothers and stuff, and like,
right. Did
you just your innovative motherfucking self, did you just be like, I know that this is going to be the next wave too, because you're doing it before all these other people did it?
Well, I mean, it's really not the next wave because not that many people fucking watch it from the battle world. I find that the most people that watch it are like people from the specific world of like the guests that I'm getting for the most part. A lot of like when I've tried to start it, man, I'm telling you, like it's easier for motherfucking battle people to start podcasts now. When I was doing it, I just was met with all resistance. You know what I mean? People was just like, this is going to suck. You're going to fail. You're going to be trash. We hate you. You know what I mean? And I was like, I know this shit's going to be fire. I don't care. I'm going to do it because it's just what I wanted to do. You know, if nobody watched it, I'm going to do it. You know, I just want to talk to cool people, and that's what we're going to do. But you know, it all just goes with following your passion. All the guests we got were just people I wanted. Anybody that I've had opportunities to get more famous people, but I turned it down because I just don't know about them like that. I just, you know, it's not something that I'm interested in. You know, these podcasts write themselves, the questions write themselves, because I really care about the person that we have on the interview. And I think that is pretty important.
That's so funny you say that, because I have a lot of like when I first started my podcast, you have all the doubters and everything, but now I'm like, I think you'll be my 22nd or 3rd episode.
Nice. You got more episodes than I do.
So I do it weekly too, right? So that's almost a half a year. But the thing is,
right
now that my friends, or even I have one of my brothers, and he listens to this sometimes, he fucking out of nowhere, he's like, you should interview my friend who's in a band, or interview my friend who plays college sports. And I'm like, that's great and all, that's awesome, that's a cool niche. I know fucking nothing about them. Like I hit up these people who like I can do an interview off without looking up a single fucking thing about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like people have suggested me a lot of sports guys and stuff like that. Sports I just don't know anything about. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to interview Colin Kaepernick and not talk anything about football. You know what I mean? Like same with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I just want to talk to you about everything else. You know what I mean? I don't know shit about basketball, you know what I mean? But I want to talk to you about all the other cool shit that you did, and like, you know, making movies with Bruce Lee and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want to talk about. We'll talk about basketball too if we did it, but I mean neither of them got back to me, but just examples of, you know, there were some sports figures I could have interviewed and I passed because I just don't know anything about them like that. But someone like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Colin Kaepernick would have been amazing.
That would have been a crazy interview. But you know what? That would be a pretty cool, different take with it too. Is like, so that's the thing. I do talk about battle rap, but I also try to talk about everything that you guys do. But it'd be a cool take to interview somebody who's like famous for a certain aspect, but not touch on that at all.
Right.
Because they might perceive that better too, because it's just like when you're doing a movie or some shit and you have to do the media run and everybody asks you the same fucking question, you know?
Right.
So that's why it's better to be outside.
Me an edge.
Oh, sorry.
Outside the box. I think that always gave me an edge in the podcast because I've been interviewed so many times. I know what's fucking annoying and what isn't, you know?
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like I've always loved podcasts. And like, I mean, I even like watched Howard Stern growing up, like old Howard Stern throwback shit.
Right.
And like, but I've always been so critical of myself because I'm also like a rap fan, a battle rap fan. It's like, and like, I never wanted to do it, but then I finally did it during like quarantine and shit. And like, and I'm glad I finally did it, man, you know, because like who would have ever known when I was fucking 2011 messaging you to say good luck against Real Deal that I'd be talking to you in 2021 when I became.
Hey, I appreciate that too, man, because nobody was saying that when I was battling Real Deal. Everyone was ready for me to lose again. So
no, fuck that shit, bro.
People were big mad at me at that time. That was the time where I can't do anything right. Even if I did great, they're just pissed. You know what I mean? It didn't even matter. Like
it didn't make any sense though.
What was crazy to me, what I always take from the Real Deal battle that trips me out is I feel that I got way more reaction during my worst performance ever against Roan when I was about to choke in the 3rd round and get my fucking ass beat. I was still getting wild crowd reactions for every bar that I did get out in that battle. But then in Canada, it was like nothing. It's crickets, every bar, crickets. I said a line I said like, Okwerdz, your ears are not little. And they go crazy. Everything else I said is like nothing. I was like, wow, these people fucking hate me. They gave me more love in New York, the city where I got death threats from. And these motherfuckers was cheering for me and would have let me win had I not been trash. You know what I mean? They actually would have let me win if I fucking did good enough. You know what I mean? But Canada, they wasn't having it at all. They wasn't having it at all against Real Deal.
Here's a theory for you. Here's a theory for you. Lo Pesci, one of the best Canadian battle rappers of all time.
I love Lo Pesci, man.
He's actually coming up soon, like in an episode or two.
Right.
But Canada fans fucking hated him because he had the whole thing where like he wanted to be in grind time and all this kind of shit. And Real Deal beat Lo Pesci, and Real Deal was like Canada's hero. So maybe they were pro Real Deal. You know what I mean?
Could be, man. It could be.
But at the end of the day, I'm a real fan. I was rooting because I was like, how are you guys not going to give respect to the motherfucker who beat Arsenal and T-Rex?
Right.
Come on, man. Like, what the fuck, bro?
Well, it was a really easy time to hate on me. It was a really easy time to hate on on me, man. That's how it goes.
That's the funny thing with battle rap fans. They're like the biggest fans, but the biggest haters at the same time, man.
Right.
Like,
I mean, it's like anything, especially it's like sports, you don't see people like super hard body rooting for the last place team or like the motherfucker who, gets cooked every time or what. Not saying that that's me, but I'm just saying in general, people like to gravitate towards the motherfucker who won at anything because people are lame and they want to feel like they're a part of something that's winning. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how it goes. You know what I mean? It's like they jump from ship to ship. You know what I mean? Well, you're floating around in your ship. You see them swimming in the water, like going to the next ship, trying to jump aboard. You know what I mean? Like, it's just how some people are,
Yeah. Well, it just means
they just want to be involved with something.
Hey, bro, hurt people.
That they do. Hey, I got love for them, though. I got love for the haters, man. It's cool.
Hey, they hate us because they ain't us, right? You know what I mean? Whatever, right?
Right.
But yo, like, other than outside the box,
Right.
what, like, do you have anything coming up that like other than the vinyl too, which actually when it does come out, I'm gonna cop that shit, bro, because that is
appreciate
very cool
that, man. No, it's gonna be very cool.
I'll put that right next to Pop That Pussy.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, we're gonna have a big rollout for it and everything. Just it's just kind of like all this pandemic stuff. Like I said, it literally backed up the pressing plants. But not only that, it was just kind of like a decision that I had made where it's just like, the world's a little fucked up right now. People are hurting. People can't necessarily go to work. It's a pandemic. Not really the time I want to introduce like a luxurious ass product to the fucking world. So I kind of, even if the pressing plants weren't backed up, I kind of just wanted to chill anyway. You know what I mean? Till it's a little bit more normalcy is restored to the planet, I guess. And then we'll roll that out like immediately.
No, 100%. And I appreciate that because like it's funny. People don't know for the fans. Like I literally messaged Okwerdz a few days ago, and then like today he was like, "All right, well, when do you want to do it?" I was like, "I don't know, man. Can we do it like tonight?" Because we just reopened from lockdown. I work in the weed industry, but I work at this one store that's not doing that great. And then I just got an interview at another store, and then like I'm just waiting on them to tell me.
He works in the weed industry. Well, fuck it then.
Oh, bro, like, let's smoke up. But bro, I was just like, I'm waiting on like a new schedule. So like I was like, I gotta get this interview out because I don't know when I'm gonna be free again. You know what I mean?
Right.
After being able to do podcasts.
I mean, this Zoom shit is so easy, dude. In the pandemic, I've done like fucking 100 of these, dude. It's so easy. You know what I mean? Just press the button. I mean, it's my desk. Because we've been real since the pandemic. We've been real heavy on the Twitch streams. So my whole desk is just to do these interviews is literally nothing. Like it's all set up already. You know what I mean? This is NVIDIA broadcast. I don't even have a background behind me. You know what I mean? Like that's why I'm like lightweight disappearing and shit. It's like a upscale fucking Snapchat filter in a way.
Yeah, no, that's sick. And and that's like what was great for me too, because I recorded a few podcasts alone before I ever interviewed anybody, and then I was worried about interviewing. And Zoom is the fucking best thing in the world, man.
Zoom is incredible, dude. Honestly, ever since like the pandemic started, I think Zoom and Twitch might have had the biggest growth out of any app like ever.
They had to. And all my homies are into the stock market and like coins on shit. I always ask them like, yo, Zoom must be up insanely, right? You know what I mean? Because I know nothing about that shit. I'm terrible financially.
Well, think about it, man. It's integrated in schools and everybody's jobs. You know what I mean? Think about all the big companies that had to buy like the pro version so they could have like these long fucking, meetings all virtually where you can have, I pay for the pro. I think it's like $100 a year or something like that. And you can go as long as you want. You can have as many people in your fucking Zoom as you want. Like companies are buying that shit. Schools are buying that shit. Like Zoom is popping off, dude. And Twitch, the same with Twitch because it's just going live, man. I'm going live on Twitch almost every single day. We're going to go live this evening as well. We've been crazy growth to the Twitch channel. It's something I always wanted to do, but never really had the time until I found myself locked in the house for a year, and it kind of just became a thing. And I like playing video games, and we just randomly started. Next thing I know, we're getting world records at video games, and now it's becoming a thing.
Well, no, and that's sick. And I'm gonna link all of that below.
Yeah, and there's people finding me now that don't even know I rap, and that's the most bizarre thing in the world because my whole life It's just been people knowing me for rapping, people stopping me in the street, ask for pictures, blah, 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 right? And to find all these, like this group of people finding me just from playing video games it's crazy to me. It's such a surreal thing.
That's so fucking cool, man. I want to do one more question, and I don't want you to feel pressured or stressed by it before we sign off. But I like to ask this. Just right now in your head, 3 albums that you would take to a desert island.
Shit. Ice Cube, The Predator, 100%, number 1. I could listen to that forever. Does it have to be rap or just anything?
It could be anything. So I always say, because one of my favorites is the score. Because the score by the Fugees has like so many. It has singing, it has rap, it has bar heavy, it has emotion. You got to think about like your emotions when you're out there. Like, you're gonna be angry, but
I'm trying to think of different genres. I don't want to do this all rap because I'm gonna need more than that.
Cheddar Cheese picked Frank Ocean and Celine Dion.
Okay. I don't know. Damn, that's rough. Definitely The Predator by Ice Cube for sure is the rap album that I'm bringing along with me. Man, that's rough, dude. I'm really trying to think. Maybe like a classic rock record and like a fucking 70s soul record, like 70s soul. Maybe we'll get maybe like a fucking greatest hits of Al Green or something like that. Or no, wait, I'm tripping. Hold on. Excuse me. Michael Jackson Bad. Excuse me. First
okay.
Of all. Yeah. So Michael Jackson Bad, number 1, Ice Cube, The Predator. And then for 3, maybe something classic rock or jazz, maybe like Miles Davis or like a greatest hits of like fucking Creedence Clearwater Revival or something like that. Maybe just so we have like a scope. If I'm going to be on an island forever, I can't just listen to only rap. I got to have something like, I got to have something chill, got to have something aggressive and rebellious. And you know what I mean? I got to have something that's in the middle of that. So I don't know. That's a rough one.
No, it's tough too. People, I feel like it's one of those questions, especially as a rapper or a rap fan. People say top 5. It's such a thing to just be like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? Like,
well, it'd be easier if it was all rap. I would know straight out the thing. Yeah, but all genres, this is different. I definitely got to have some Michael Jackson and Ice Cube. That's maybe a Jimi Hendrix, maybe a Santana record, maybe you know what I mean. I feel like I should have like because my favorite genres are obviously rap, 70s soul, and classic rock, like from the 60s, 70s era. And then, I like jazz as well. So something within those realms, maybe even a Nirvana album or something. I don't know. That might be good. That might be good when you're on an island by yourself.
A mosquito, my
maybe some reggae. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking, I would always say like, probably just the greatest hits of Bob Marley. You know what I mean? Because like
fair.
Bob Marley is one of those things to me. I grew up on him. My mom saw him in Bordeaux growing up. My dad saw him in Berlin growing up. My dad was in Berlin when the fucking walls fell. He's a fucking cool ass dude. But I went to Bob Marley's house when I went to Jamaica to do the fucking classic tourist thing,
That's a trip.
Bought weed at the house and shit like that.
Hey, going to people's houses is crazy, dude. I went to Tom Arnold's house and it was a lightweight, a surreal ass experience for me.
Bro, and that's so cool to me because Tom Arnold's so cool. And
Tom Arnold is the shit, bro. It's crazy. All the guys that we get on the podcast, man, they start out, the people that I cold hit up, the people that don't know me is what I mean, okay? The people that don't know me at all, they agree to the interview. It's very like chill and distant, whatever. But then when I meet them and it actually happens, it seems like they have so much fun and we always stay in contact. It's fucking crazy. Like, David Arquette to this day will still hit me up on some random shit, text me out the blue and be like, I know a guy that got beats for you. You know what I mean? Just out of the fucking blue. You know what I mean? And we still, I still talk to Nate pretty frequently. But Tom Arnold is another one, man. We've stayed in contact. And Diamond Dallas Page, he's like, whenever you're in Atlanta, hit me the fuck up and let's kick it. Okwerdz, It's been crazy. I've actually met some like pretty good friends. Ernie Reyes Jr., another one. That's like my homie now, dude. Ernie Reyes Jr. is literally my fucking homie, But Tom Arnold's house was a big one for us, man. We literally went to Tom Arnold's house. I'm such a big fan of Tom Arnold, and it's good to know that he turned out okay and that his head is in the right place and he fucking hates Donald Trump and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? He's a good person. You know what I mean? It's not one of those people with like, you like Kevin Spacey for hella years and then you find, Kevin Spacey's a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like Tom Arnold's a good guy. I like it.
That's sick. And actually you sparked me because I was about to be like, oh, I'm out of questions. Okay. This one's going to go back to when I sparked in my head, but I forgot. when you're
Got
talking
you.
about you're in Method Man's relationship and
Right.
David Arquette. What was it like writing for these celebrities on the TV show
Right.
Open Mic? Like, and did that just come from Method Man being like, oh, I'm going to hit up Okwerdz because he's the guy?
Well, yeah, it came from Method Man. Basically, Jensen Karp, what some people know him as now as the Cinnamon Toast Crunch guy, because the guy who found the stuff in the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Did you
Oh
hear about
shit!
the yeah
The shrimp, right?
Yeah, the shrimp. That's, I guess that's like the latest buzz on Jensen Karp. I guess that's what people would know him for now. I guess he's also married to Topanga.
Oh damn!
That's
I remember
the homie.
her.
That's the homie. That's the homie. That he's a good guy. Topanga's a very nice lady. I met them both. But Jensen is a executive producer of the show. Him and James Corden. It's their show, and they brought a bunch of battle rappers. They all have their battle rap favorites and whatnot. I think Jensen, he really liked like Roan and Dumbfounded and people like that. And but with it being Method Man's show, he got to pick the people that he wanted as well. And he got a lot of us on that probably would not have got mentioned in The Office. You know what I mean? And I'm internally grateful that one day, I'm just leaving the gym, got my fucking protein shaker cup. I'm going like this. My fucking phone rings in my car from a random Los Angeles number. I typically don't pick up any phone calls that I don't recognize. But when it's a Los Angeles number, you kind of never know. So I'll pick up a Los Angeles number, and it was Jensen Karp, and he said, we're doing a TV show. Method Man specifically said he wants to be a part of it. You know what I mean? That's all I needed to hear. Say no more. You know what I'm saying?
That's fucking sick.
But I wasn't brought on to particularly write for celebrities. I was brought on to coach them more so. The lines are already written. I tell you guys how to rap that shit. I mean, I teach you how to say it on beat. I edit the verses to make them fit on beat because a lot of time it's written by a comedian who doesn't have like the beat in mind. You know what I mean? So sometimes I'll see the script and it'll be like this long ass line. I'm like, yeah, you're not gonna be able to say that on beat. You know what I mean? Let's go. You know what I mean? So I would have to go edit. You know what I mean? I would go get mine when he's asleep in his couch or he's knocked out. Yeah, we mostly editing. But my first day there, I wrote raps on a fluke because I showed up early and they needed like last minute rewrites. So I jumped in and wrote some things on the fly. Some of my lines actually ended up making the commercials, which was crazy. And there'll be like, Entertainment Tonight articles where they quoted the fucking line I wrote. You know what I mean? Like, damn, James Corden said this. And it was like the line I wrote. You know what I mean? That was crazy. But I wasn't there to write. I did write a couple things, because we had to edit things and change them around on the spot. But I also wrote, like, my first day there, I showed up. I was just there early, and producer comes up and, sets the script on the desk and says, okay, Nicole Richie's here. She hates these 12 bars and rehearsal is in 5 minutes. We need 12 bars right now. Just said that to a table full of fucking, writers. And, these guys, I'm sure, have been working on this shit for weeks. You know what I mean? Me, I'm fresh. I just showed up. I got this line, this line, this line, and this line. Oh, did you say this? You know what I mean? It just worked pretty easily. And so that's how I got some lines into the show, basically like that.
That's so fucking cool, man.
Like, I was working with, me and Roan and Dumbfounded and some like pretty well-known comedians. We were working on stuff together, and then we would write the shit, and then we would go in the room with the celebrity, go over it with. We would have like a personal beatboxer that just followed us around, and whenever we just like point at him, he would just go, you know what I mean, and we would go into it, and we would teach them that for a little bit. Then they would eventually knock on the door and pull us out for rehearsal, where we go into the stage. They got the teleprompters, you know what I mean, so they can read their bars and shit. But while we're going over stuff, we have to make edits because maybe celeb can't say this line or it's too long. We have to fit it to the beat better. We have to take words out, add words to make it fit. And every time you do that, you have to take it upstairs to the fucking, first of all, someone has to approve it. And then you have to take it to a person that puts it on the teleprompter. So it's updated, you know what I mean? So they're not reading the old shit that you just edited, you know what I mean? It's got to be the updated version that we just fixed, you know what I mean? And so we'll watch them rehearse. The producer will come up to us and be like, okay, he needs to work on this, this, or that. Go back with him and, sharpen it. And that's pretty much how it worked. And the funnest time I got to work there was with Tay Diggs. There was a point when I think Jerry Springer and Ricky Lake were there to battle, and they needed like all hands on deck helping them because they were having a hard time learning the raps. So it was like Tay Diggs also is here. And I remember the producer was like, yo, man, do you think you can handle Tay Diggs by yourself? Because everybody's got to work on this Ricky Lake fucking Jerry Springer shit. Like, you think, because normally we would go with like a couple people in there and we would all kind of like work with them. He's like, do you think you can handle Tay Diggs on your own? And I was like, fuck yeah, I can handle Tay Diggs on my own. And we went in there, it was me, Tay Diggs, and the beatboxer for like over an hour, literally just rapping with Tay Diggs for an hour. It was so fun. It was one of the funnest experiences ever. Tay Diggs is cool as fuck. And there were times where we're rapping the bars together. It's like a mini concert of me and Tay Diggs just like rapping to each other. You know what I mean? We're like looking at each other, doing the motions. It was so fun, dude. It was so fun. Well, that was probably my funnest moment. And I met Kendall Jenner as well. I dropped the mic completely by surprise. Had no idea. There's a knock at the door. You open the door and it's fucking Kendall Jenner. And you're like, oh, word. Okay, this is happening today. Got it.
Yeah. Oh, she's a human. She's not an alien.
Right. Just, we were working with her friend, a very famous model. He's actually a co-star on TV show Grownish, Luca Sabat. He's fucking popping. I remember like after I met him, we picked him up from the airport and taught him to rap in the car on the way. And then we're working with them. Like the next week, I see like Drake posts him on his Instagram and shit. Like fucking crazy. But we're working with him in this little room when we get back to the studio. And there's just a knock on the door. I'm the closest to the door, so I open the door. It's fucking Kendall Jenner. Crazy.
Damn.
Met Justin Bieber's dog.
What a random one, eh?
Yeah, well, Justin Bieber is married to the co-host of the show, Method Man's co-host, Hailey Bieber. So Hailey was watching the dog. Hailey had to go do something. Hailey left the dog with Method Man to watch. Method Man was watching Justin Bieber's dog. And we were all kicking it. He pulls us into the back. He's like, hey, come here, guys, me and Thesaurus. He pulls us in there. It's like, this is Justin Bieber's dog right here, dude.
That's fucking hilarious, man. What a weird world, eh?
Yeah, it's man, my life has been interesting, man.
Let's just say, I'm going to be corny as hell with my college writing background and just say your world's kind of outside of the box, But yo, man, thank you so much for being on.
Hey, for sure, man.
I'm going to link all your shit. People follow Okwerdz on Twitter, Instagram. Listen to his music. Listen to Outside the Box. Follow him on Twitch. We're going to have everything linked below.
Hell yeah,
man. Appreciate you being on, my guy. Like,
appreciate you having me,
add you to the big list of the OGs,
For sure, man. Hey, appreciate you.
And thanks for listening, everybody. Tune in next week. Appreciate y'all.